Hi everyone, it's the weekly live stream from the Age Diversity Forum. Hope everyone's safe and well. We are here to talk about everything age diversity in the workplace. My name's Steve Anderson, although it looks like I'm Sadie Baker at the moment. So Sadie Baker is so good, we have to name her twice.
I'll fix it for you.
But I think you can see both of us. I'm Steve Anderson from the Age Diversity Forum, here with my colleague Sadie, who's now fixing the captions.
Yeah.
We love these live technical things. I don't mind being a Sadie, it's okay, it's fine.
Well, we both know who we are, just take them off.
Exactly. I was going to say, Sadie is our editor-in-chief and production guru, and she's just making sure that her name gets out there. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But all good. So welcome Sadie back. Sadie had a week off last week from our live event, and just once again, real big thanks to Tony Williams, who joined us as a guest last week to talk about some topical articles that we were seeing around age diversity in the workplace. And that's our prime objective each week, is to pick up on topics of discussion that we see from within our own organisation, and talking to our champion partners, but also what's out there, in journalistic land, and what's being talked about, the key stories of the day. But why are we doing this live event? We're doing this to amplify the message for age diversity. This is all part of our wider campaign this year under the hashtag Making a Noise, where we are making a noise. Thank you, Sadie. Making a noise for age diversity. Unfortunately, age as part of the wider D&I agenda is still largely overlooked, although it is as wrong, as unjust, as illegal to discriminate against age. Unfortunately, it does seem to go under the radar. But we are seeing some changes to that. I like to think it's because of the work we're doing and how we're highlighting the challenges, but also the fantastic opportunities that consideration for age diversity does give an organisation. I think we are seeing some changes, and I think one of the benchmarks for that for us is our June the 11th event that's coming up, Champion Age Diversity Day. It's something that we inaugurated 3 years ago, really inspired and incentivized by what we were seeing happening on other keynote days that were being celebrated, in particular International Women's Day, and what a vehicle that was to highlight the challenges of gender balance in the workplace. But hey, hang on to your hats, because it's something that we're going to talk about today that unfortunately is still a massive challenge for women, but not just women, but older women. And again, this is I think, Sadie, within the range of episodes that we've done already, it's quite a common topic that we find ourselves talking about. And again, today, we want to highlight it again, basically, because it's in the news again, in the UK, and I guess probably across the world, because it is an international story. The BBC in the UK are being what's the word? I don't know. They're just being. Prince William has come out last night and said some really strong words about how the BBC treated a particular journalistic situation 25 years ago, when one of the BBC broadcasters arranged an interview with Princess Diana. I think people knew this at the time, but it was the words now being used, allegedly covered up. The way that interview was arranged was fraudulent in many ways, and misrepresented in many ways, and a new review of that whole situation has been carried out, an independent review, and it's found that the BBC were lacking in many areas of due diligence, of care and attention to the whole situation. Let's say Prince William has said some really strong things about the journalists involved, the production involved, but overall how the BBC as an organisation were acted improperly. And I think there's various discussion going on today about that whole outlook and the effect it had on Princess Diana at the time. This was 1995, I believe, and within a couple of years, unfortunately, she passed, and some people were saying that maybe this was the start of lots of events that maybe ultimately led to that, which is who knows. But anyway, interesting though that all that discussion's going on. And Sadie, I think you saw something as part of our own internal research and review of stuff or articles going on around the whole news environment this week.
Yeah. So I was watching earlier in the week. I was watching this news show presented by older ladies who had been fighting to stay on as presenters on television because they were now over the age of 50 and they didn't want to be kicked off television, but people were promoting for them to do that. So for the past however many years, they've been fighting to stay on television. And I just think it's mad how older ladies, particularly because men are staying on when they get older, are being pushed off of television because they're older. It doesn't make sense. They're perfectly capable of. I was watching the program with these ladies on. They were perfectly capable of presenting the news. They were great at their jobs. They were like colourful clothes, very fashionable, lovely hair. Like they were still like completely like there was nothing wrong with them, and I don't understand why they were pushed to go to television.
Sadie, when you brought this to us, it's particularly depressing because this was something that you saw this week as an item of news, but this situation, this story, this complete injustice has been going on. It was recognised, I would say decades ago, where it was recognised and seen and felt by female presenters that once they reached a certain age, and it was typically over 50, that they seemed to be removed or found new jobs or whatever within the TV news presentation situation. And at the same time, as you described, it was suggested, and not just suggested, it was happening, that older men seem to be able to maintain that same role. So the fact that, we are now decades on and that whole gender thing is still an issue. But I think it's not gender, it's older women. And again, just to repeat myself what I said earlier, this is something that we've seen come up in various situations, this year to date, where we found ourselves talking about topical stories and articles of older women being or facing challenges, barriers in the workplace, not just the media environment, but other industry sectors as well. And how, I use the word depressing, is it that this still exists? And I mentioned right at the outset of this live stream, why as an organisation we're doing this, because age goes under the radar. The fact that age coupled with gender, and this is where there is some real value in a consideration for age, because it is an intersectional opportunity to look at other parts of the inclusion agenda as well, and to hopefully give more light and put a sharper focus and lens on all parts of diversity through the age lens. But if we as an organisation, think age isn't getting the attention it deserves. The fact that this story is still being represented now is just crazy, you know. And we always say, you know, there's still a lot of work to do. My word. So again, hopefully anyone watching this live or this is recorded and showcased through our YouTube channel, you're seeing and hearing this, we would urge you to get involved in some way. And maybe a first step is just, you know, contact us. Tell us you may have experienced something in, you know, you've had a bad experience, or you may be at an organisation that actually is really addressing these challenges. The whole gender challenge we thought took some steps forward a couple of years ago with the whole gender pay gap situation. But the fact that we're seeing more link now between gender and age, that if age is not part of your strategy or planning or policy or governance or good practice, then, or culture, then please contact us. We'd love to have an open and free conversation about whatever situation you're in and how we can seek to address that challenge, turn it into the opportunity that will be there. And as I said, we have Champion Age Diversity Day coming up on June 11th. If it's not a core value right now, please have a look at this one day to really, even if just to give some thought to it. We have our own dedicated web page on our website that gives some ideas of activities, you know, why it's important in the first place, but activities, and there's some resources available there, you know, for download and for utilization. Please take 5 minutes to go and have a look, because actually one of the Sadie and I, we did a top 10, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, top 10 of sort of things you can think about doing on the day, and by far number one and most important is just to take that 5-10 minutes to talk to a colleague, and maybe talk to a colleague who's from a different age group to you. You know, in the workplace there can be 2, 3, 4, 5 different generations now, you know, from baby boomers to Gen Zs, millennials, and everyone in between. Really just take some time out to engage with a work colleague, you know, ask a question, just have a chat, and, you know, find the common ground that I know you will find, because there is, and that common ground can lead to some fantastic opportunities within the workplace, in terms of better work practice, sharing of knowledge, of know-how, and of innovation, of development for the organisations. Not only is it great for the individuals involved, but ultimately it will support a better business performance as well. So yes. So Sadie, sorry, I've taken over a bit there, because I know you, alongside that sort of news sort of headline, as it were, you found some recent data that was, that again, it's probably equally as shocking.
Yeah. So I found an article from, it says here, the research released today by Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, Harriet Harman, so this is from a few years ago, shows even though the majority of over 50s in the UK are women, the overwhelming majority of TV presenters over that age are men. So this is released by The Guardian, and at the bottom of the article there's a data summary where BBC, ITN, Channel 4, Channel 5, Sky News, and then some outline data. They were all asked the same questions, and then they had to give a percentage to these questions. So I think one of the most shocking ones was what percentage of regular on-screen presenters are older women. So the BBC said 6% of their on-screen presenters are older women. 6%. Then ITN said 0%. There was no data. I know there's no data for Channel 4. Channel 5 said 0%. Sky News said 3%, and the outline data was 5%. That is such a low percentage.
Yeah, as you say, this article was from when Harriet Harman was deputy leader of the Labour Party, but that's not too many years ago. And the way research and data works is it's generally, behind the curve, just because of the way data is collated and collected, then has to be, interrogated and analysed, and then results obviously published. So this is, I think, is relevant, and the fact that, I mentioned, I recognise this situation from stories and representation, going back decades, literally decades. There's this data that's far more within, recent time, but the fact that this was in your sphere of news this week just shows that has anything really changed? Has anything really moved on? It sounds like no, and some of the attention to gender balance, but older gender balance, is way behind where it should be and needs to be, and actually without that attention, would you agree it sort of almost misrepresents large parts of the population? I mean, much of the work we do with organisations, age diversity in the workplace, a big part of that is, from a pure business perspective, is reflecting your customer base, however customer is defined there. And with the changing demographic according to age being described as a global megatrend, this isn't just a UK thing. The same challenges are happening in all corners of the globe. The fact that an essential media interaction environment like the news, that should be something that people of all ages should be able to access and to get some information from that access. This surely is a gross misrepresentation of the way the world has developed. I don't know. Is that too big or deep? What do you think?
I just think, I don't know. I think there has been a massive movement in making gender equal, and obviously we still haven't got there with age yet, but the statistics are still low. And if you do bring age into this, there is a question: how many older men do you employ on screen or off screen? The data, although low, is still double what it is for women. And I think if you were to take that out, just double, if you were to take age out of that, then it is about gender, because they're both old. So their statistics are both low, but there's still so far to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what we can say from this is that this, in the inclusion environment, the barriers and the isms, the various isms, and ageism is one of those. And actually, straight after this, we'll be doing our latest episode of what can we do to stop ageism. It's something that Sadie proposes as we need to do more as an organisation to present some real practical guidance, but be bold with a statement like that, where we see that in areas of racism, of ethnicity, but for the age agenda, it's just not used. Actually, I just think we got typo there.
Do we?
Ageism.
Ageism.
We can live. We can own up to our typos.
Yeah. See, typos don't just happen when you're older.
Hey, come on! That's one of the myths and there's stereotyping in action.
Have I spelled it wrong anywhere else? I'm worried now. If there are any typos, that's on me.
But and all isms, at a fundamental level, have stereotyping as a factor of issue of stereotyping being that barrier, being that challenge that we need to remove, whether it's language, vocabulary, or attributing certain actions with certain age groups, for example. We've got a whole list of those on our website environment, so you can go and check out those myths that we, as an organisation, we seek to bust every single day. Those perceptions that are just not true. They're exactly that. They're perceptions. They're myths. They're stereotyping where there's no foundation for that stereotyping. So let's remove all that. So this latest article and this recent data just goes to show how much more awareness needs to be raised, how much more I was going to say, is it incentivization? Is it motivation? What's going to change people's attitudes to this? Is it more, if you like, banging the table, like with our campaign, making a noise? It hopefully suggests, what we need to do. We need to make a noise about this stuff. If we're going to have any sort of impact, we've got to make the noise, but not just make a noise, but get engagement, and through all sorts of different stakeholders. And I think just in this year, through this medium, we've found ourselves almost following topical direction of issues. Certainly older women, that intersectional inclusion agendas, that is absolutely a key focus, and we've been raising the profile of that. But I think something else that has been regularly talked about is the multi-generational aspects of age and age in the workplace, and the fact that younger people are adversely affected by the ageism, as much as other age groups as well. And it's something that came up quite early on in these sessions was some recruitment tactics, Sadie, that you mentioned that you were seeing at college recently, at college level. So I think our next what can we do to stop ageism session will be about the recruitment side of things, and some practicalities of what organisations can do to ensure that they are being as open, fair and equitable in terms of their decision-making process on the recruitment side as they can be. So again, if you follow that series, it's released on Monday.
Mondays.
Yes, thank you, on Monday. And this is a series leading up to June the 11th, and so there's some topical stuff going on there. And as I mentioned, June 11th again, and I realise we're rapidly approaching our 30 minutes. I just want to mention June 11th again, Champion Age Diversity Day. So lots of resources and information available through our dedicated webpage, through the agediversityforum.org. Just to highlight, we have one of the fulcrums of the day is a live event that we are presenting UK time, to be confirmed. We're 99% for, we get at 1 p.m. UK time and run till 2:30. Hopefully it's long enough to include some great content, but short enough to ensure that you're all able to dip in at various points, if not stay the whole time. But we've got it's a fantastic event. We have Professor Andrew Scott from the London Business School, who's a co-author of the book The 100-Year Life. This was a book that's received all sorts of critical acclaim and awards. I think it was published in 2016, 2017. But a recognised resource for how age is an attribute, part of the inclusion agenda that absolutely needs to be considered highly and raised up the priority list. And it's great that we have Professor Andrew Scott, giving us his thoughts around this whole situation, kindly organised by our champion partners at Elsevier. And following Andrew's presentation, we will have a panel event chaired by one of our other champion partners, Ali Kazimi for Hansuki. And Hansuki are our overall sponsors and facilitators for the event, which is just, fantastic to have them supporting us and working with us on delivering this event. We've got 2 panelists to confirm. Hopefully that will be done next week. And as of next week, we've got 3 clear weeks up to the event, and we are running an international awareness and promotion campaign. And we've got various things going on within that, as well as promoting that live event. It's really just to showcase how everyone can get involved. And we've got organisations from all over the world get involved. And maybe something I'll confirm next week. We've got a really special launch, or supporting a launch of a new book all around age diversity. So to be confirmed, but hopefully we're going to do that on next week's live show. So so June 11th. It's we're really ratcheting up the awareness. So we'd love everyone to get involved in some way. So on that note, Sadie, was there anything else that you wanted to bring to the table?
I mean, I had a point about some of the statistics, but I can save it for next week. We can leave people wanting
Let's continue it next week. So I think, the story I mentioned at the beginning, all around the BBC, I think there's lots to run there, and I think there's potentially some other stuff going to come out over the next few days. And so let's pick that up again as part of our discussion next week. And in between time, I think let's see if we can identify some other data and get some other information, because I think it's really important to highlight this as something. Why is this problem stuck? Let's see if we can understand that, because hopefully if we can unlock, we've talked about education being a key that unlocks a lot of the ageism issues, in the workplace. And we've got more to say on that over the next few weeks as well. So we need to find the keys that unlock these challenges, and rather than just being stuck and being regurgitated, year after year after year. Otherwise, we're never going to make that change. And at the end of the day, that's why we're here. That's our purpose. That's our aim. So thank you, everyone, if you've been around during this time. Otherwise, please, if you're watching this after the event, then any questions, and just contact us. We'll be very happy to hear from you. And if not before, I'll leave you with our mantra for making a noise, which is join us on the journey. It's the only way we're going to unlock is through engagement. So if any of this rings any sort of bells or you recognise any of this stuff, then please engage. Please just join us. We'd love to hear from you. On that note, thank you, Sadie. Thank you, everyone.
Quickly, I will link the article that we were talking about with all the data in the description of the YouTube video, so you can check it out yourselves.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you all. See you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye bye.